Okay, well, today is ride day. It's a beautiful day out. It's going to be in the 60s with a little bit lower humidity. So I'm going to take my manual bike up to a Greenway. And it's a section I walked before, but today I'm going to bike it. This is going to be a true test of my endurance on the manual bike. I shared with you in the past of everything that's going on and how I can't pedal up hills anymore and why I'm definitely considering buying an e-bike to be able to assist, but I don't have the e-bike yet, and I said I was going to take this manual bike out on one of the greenways to really test myself. As you know, I'm 56 years old. Today's a typical day about how my body feels with aches and pains and just not like I used to be. So we're going to see how my endurance is today with riding on a paved greenway and whether or not the type of e-bike I'm going to consider in the future. All right, well, I'm mixing up a couple extra water bottles this morning with the Peak Refuel Re-Energizing and Electrolyte Hydration Blend. Now, this one here is a fresh melon. I talked about this before, but one of these packets is supposed to be for one bottle of water. But for me, it's still way too sweet, even with dividing it up between 2 bottles of water. So that's why I divided it up between 2 bottles of water. It really does help with the hydration, and no, I'm not sponsored. Plus, the other things is it really does help you focus, concentrate, and refresh you. I've used these drinks before out hiking, but today I'm going to take them out biking. So I also got some new accessories for the bike, which I'm not going to put on today. I may save these for when I actually get the e-bike, but I got a new headlight and tail light system for riding on the road so that cars can see me more. And also if I do get caught riding at night. I also got a new bag. This is a combination trunk bag and pannier bag. So basically these side pockets right here unzip and then an inner bag comes out so that it hangs over your frame and your back wheel, which will provide more storage. And I like the fact that the inside is actually a little bit padded and has a divider so that I can put camera gear in there without worrying about it or carrying a backpack or a bulky camera bag with me. Plus it's got extra slot for SD cards and stuff like that. Also got an extra water bottle on the back and a place that I can clip the tail. This is what I mean by I made a mistake with getting a frame bag. If you see on the configuration of this bike, my water bottle is actually mounted to the frame there, and then I got my air pump. So the problem that happens with this bag is once I put stuff in it and it expands out, this actually comes out and hits the pedal as I'm riding, and I have to keep adjusting it. Not only that, I can't reach down to grab my water bottle, so I have to keep getting on and off the bike if I want a sip of water. So it's a good bag, and I do like how much it can carry and everything, but unfortunately with the configuration of my bike with the water bottle mounting here, so I've got no other screws to mount a water bottle unless I get a type of water bottle that Velcro straps on, and then also my air pump. The bag just kind of gets in the way and hits the pedal, so I'm going to take it off, and for now I'm just going to bungee cord it to the rack for today's ride since I'm not taking my new bag with me. So this is a typical day of what riding would look like, and as you can see, the bag mounted on the back with everything in it with the exception of my keys and cell phone is quite full. With the Velcro straps, I don't think I'm going to have to bungee cord it, but I'll take the bungee cords with me just in case I change my mind. The fun part is always loading these into the back of an SUV. I got the chair in there. Probably can get in with the chair being in there. Alright, and a couple bags in there too. There we go. Okay, so one of the things I found out is my GoPro mount right here, it's actually too weak for the invisible selfie stick and the camera to be angled like that so I can get better views. So what I'm using today is I've got a small rig arm clamp here, which is like really secure. I can reposition it as needed for today's ride. Alright, so like I said, this is just going to be a leisurely ride today. I feel the bike is a little bit off balance with the way I have things. That's why I put the camera on this side. Not trying to set any records today. And I gotta fix something. Yeah. All right, let's try this. Like I said, I do like riding, but I just don't know how I'm gonna do. And if you recall, I did walk this before all the way to Millville town line. I don't know if I'm going to get as far as Uxbridge today, but we'll see. Coming up on the Greenway sign, and ooh, lovely smell of marijuana. It's a problem since they legalized it. I think one of the things I'll be glad about when I get my e-bike is to get rid of this front derailleur system. Front derailleur can be nice, however, the chain can give you a little bit of a hard time when shifting. It's been a problem on every bike that I own, doesn't matter the cost or the brand. Every time I go to shift into the third sprocket or the larger sprocket, the derailleur always ends up messing up. And the problem with that is I have to get off and fix it. I've tried adjusting it. You got to be careful when shifting it. Now you can hear it rattling. It's not clicked in. There it goes. So yeah, I'll be glad to get rid of a front derailleur system. Alright, as we're getting into the more scenic parts now, I'm going to go ahead and adjust the camera so that you can get more of the river views. And that guy who just passed me, he's got electric brand, which is one of the type that I was looking at. Alright, let me adjust this camera so you can get more of the scenic views. Hopefully he stops up ahead, so I hear I can talk to him about his bike, because that's one of the bikes I'm interested in. So the one thing I did notice is, do not, I repeat, do not extend the selfie stick when you're riding. It just wobbles all over the place. Let's see if I can get a better angle here. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, so I guess I'll stop along some of the ways and show you the more scenic views. But I'll tell you, guys on electric bikes right now, they're just cruising right by me super fast. So as you can see here, this is one of the old railways here. Old rail tracks. They don't use them anymore. They've now been decommissioned. It's been a long time since I used these tracks. I remember when trains used to go over when I was a kid, before they put in this bike path. We'll start to feel the knee for a little bit, but so I'm getting into a little bit of a downhill here. This trail is mostly flat. That's why I'm riding it to see how I do. Like I said, I've walked this before from Blackstone to Millville, and it was a long walk. I want to take the other direction, but they have not finished and connected the two Woonsocket ends yet. Alright, so I want to stop and show you something. Downshift here. There we go. Okay, well, the sign's going, but you can see over here, right there is one of the old bridges for the rail trestle that has been completely destroyed over time. Now, let me get off for a minute. Now, when I walked this and did some photography in fall, you used to be able to see this one over here much better. It's now really overgrown. And in fact, the facade on the front of it is really starting to crumble. You still see the 1.9, but I used to say 1916, but all you can see is the 1.9. So yeah, this is the old trestle. Train tracks used to run overhead, and then over here we got the steel bridge, which I showed you photography from before, and I went down the trail that runs along the bottom here up to the road. It's questionable whether or not this part is still being used by the looks of the tracks. Some people say that this part is actually still used, mostly for freight. Yeah, I gotta get an electric bike. Alright, looks like we're coming up on another road crossing. We're actually in Millville right now. And downshift in case I have to stop and wait for traffic. So yeah, this is Central Street in Millville. Let me go. Oh, nice. They let me go. I don't think I walked this part. I might have turned around just before here when I walked this trail. Come on. Yeah, I'll be glad to get rid of a front derailleur system and get some pedal assist. There it goes. We are technically in Millville right now, so I biked from Blackstone to Millville, and I'm going to see if I can hit the Uxbridge end of this. I don't know how much further it goes on past Uxbridge. Map really didn't see. It looked like the trail continued, but the map just kind of ended. Oh, this section is a little breezy and shady. I kind of like it. Reminds me of the bike path in Greensboro, North Carolina. Oh yeah, I definitely did not walk this part. I think when I walked it during the photography, I turned around at that road crossing back there. I don't remember power lines or anything like that. So is it straight or that way?
I think going down just pretty much ends it.
Okay. Alright, well, the guy said going down ends it, so I guess I'm going to switch over to dirt. Yeah, this part's not finished. A tumble you saw was not me. That was the camera falling over. Kind of loosened up, so not sure what I'm going to do about camera mounting systems. I may just go ahead and get the Insta360 one, although they say it's not for off-road use. And I guess because of the vibration and that it can fall and loosen up like these two systems are doing. But anyway, technically I'm still in Millville, but over near Uxbridge. The Greenway actually came to an end over here. 146, the highway is up a little bit ahead. So this part that's dirt is actually the Southern New England Trunk Line Trail, which is a continuation, but it's dirt. It's a rail to trail system that's not been paved. Down below me over here, the paved portion, that's just where it ends in like another parking area. So I'm gonna go a little bit further to see how far I can get on the dirt part, see how it is to ride, because I have not ridden dirt since my second back injury. And like I said, this is only my second ride since that injury over a year ago, and so far kind of feeling good. The knees are feeling it a bit. I always had a problem with my knees. I think the other thing is with getting an electric bike is I might be able to extend the handlebars up more, so I'm riding more upright instead of hunched over a little bit, which will put less pressure on my joints and be able to ride more. But this front derailleur system, I'm going to have to adjust it again. It's giving me fits today. The way it's trying to shift. Luckily it has not jammed up and the chain has not fallen off of it, but yeah, I'm definitely going to have to give it an adjustment again because the way it's shifting. But I'm going to go ahead, continue on the dirt part a bit, and see how far I get, because like I said, technically I'm not quite in Uxbridge yet, but I am like probably within maybe a quarter mile of Uxbridge. Yeah. All right, let's see how it goes to riding on dirt. Now, if I get a cruiser style bike, I'm probably not going to be able to ride on dirt, although this is packed down pretty good. The gravel back there, yeah, forget it. And I'm going to take it really slow through here. I'm not going to be riding as fast as I was. It's been a while since I rode trail. So the multi-use bike path comes to an end, and it looks really steep, and it does end right on 146 into private property and a trucking yard. So yeah, this is the end of the line. All right, I'm gonna go back the other way. I'm probably not gonna film it. We'll see if I have the energy to take the other part that opened up. That's only a mile long, but they did not add the connection from Cold Spring Park to the other part of Woonsocket. If they add the connection from Cold Spring Park to the other part of Woonsocket, then you'd be able to bike all the way through from Blackstone to Cumberland, Lincoln, Auburn area, and then there's another part they haven't finished, which is over near the Pawtucket and Slater Park. You got to ride through some quiet neighborhoods. But let me turn around, head back, and then we'll see where I'm going to go from there. So it appears on the way back, this is all downhill. It's pretty good ride in. That's cool. It's mostly all downhill. I'm in gear 21 right now. So I'm just cruising right along. This is the part of ride I like, where it's not that hard. Alrighty, well, this is why I can't wait to get an e-bike and get rid of this front derailleur system. See what happened to the chain? Every time I go out. Alright, we're gonna continue on to the other end. Hopefully it's not all uphill coming back. Nice little picnic area over here. That's nice. One thing they should do is put porta potties along these routes. There's people walking, especially with kids. So this part here, they just opened up. Like last year, they just finished it. So I already can see coming back, I'm gonna have to walk this. This is where I wish I had an e-bike coming back on something like this. Because right now I'm just coasting. It's a long downhill. Feels nice going this way, but coming back I'm definitely going to have to walk. I can't pedal up these things anymore. This is the extension part right here. Whew. Alright, I gotta get off and walk a little bit, I think. Yeah. Oh, this is nice right here. Way it goes over the Blackstone River. I like that. Take a quick look through here before I get riding again. Oh yeah, that down a little bit. Oh yeah, that's a nice view. Real nice. I like that they did this. We start getting into the old historic industrial part of Woonsocket. Looks like a junkyard over there. Alright, let me get back to riding. Woonsocket and North Smithfield line. Oh, so we went through North Smithfield, now we're in Woonsocket. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be pretty much all uphill coming back. I'm going to have to walk a good section of this coming back. So we went from Blackstone to North Smithfield. Now we're going into Woonsocket. See some of the old mills. Old vacant mills, not in use anymore. Back when textile was the main king industry. All right, Cold Spring Park, Woonsocket. When I was a kid, they didn't have this baseball field, I don't think. Used to go sledding down the hills. They used to have fireworks here too, 4th of July, but no more. And this is the end of the bike route. So this is the part that they never finished over to the other side. Alright, well, we're on our way back now. So yeah, the reason why I don't ride in my town much is my town's got a lot of steep hills. I be walking more than I do ride. So I know I got that long hill coming up on the way back. Not looking forward because I'm going to have to walk that. No way am I going to be able to ride. Alright, new Woonsocket back in North Smithfield. Take advantage coasting on this part before I have to walk up that hill. Alright, so this is the part that I coasted down pretty fast. I don't know how well the camera's going to pick up the incline on this, but this is where I wish I had the e-bike. According to this, from Uxbridge to Cold Spring Park is 4.5 miles. That means I did 9 miles round trip. Like I said, that one hill was the only hill that I had to walk up, but most of this Greenway is pretty much flat. So I did get a good ride in today. Okay, so how do I feel after the ride? The big question would be, how do I feel tomorrow? Sciatica and knee and back did not act up, especially since it was flat and I was doing a lot of coasting and easy pedaling. Started feeling it walking up that hill a little bit though. The one thing about that bike is I've got to figure out something about the ergonomics, because I can feel it right here in my neck because I'm down more riding like this, as you're kind of like hunched over instead of sitting up straight. So I got to figure out something more about the ergonomics, which a cruiser style e-bike has better ergonomics than your mountain bikes or your street bikes. But the thing is, with the cruiser style, I know any type of gravel or loose dirt, they're not going to be good. Hard packed dirt, maybe, but not gravel or loose dirt. But the cruiser bike will be good around town. So still doing my research on the electric bikes. In the meantime, let's get this one put away.